Yo, you already know what it is. Araya Ayodele done it again, man. If you are familiar with the Storm solo run series, yes, Rogue Storm is no different. We are in the age of revelation, son. You already know what to do. Put on your X jacket. Get ready for some electrical battles. Put it on for the city. Rogue Storm. Roll that intro, cuss. Yeah. What's going on, Geek Corner? This is your boy, Earthsmack the Mad Scientist, and welcome back to the Orange Phoenix Media channel. Today, we are covering Rogue Storm number 1. I know what I said in Saturday Morning Comics. I did say, like, the Age of Revelation might not be as interested, but there are some key comics that I am interested in within that. And they're not really part of the main story that's going on, like Amazing X-Men and regular X-Men and stuff like that. I'm not really interested in that, but I will say when it comes to Rogue Storm, when it comes to Unbreakable X-Men, and when it comes to Binary, I got some interest there. So I decided to cover these, and Rogue Storm by Araya Ayodele, listen, the same person, the same individual that done this phenomenal Storm solo run. Hey, listen, they are on this right the piss now. They are on Rogue Storm, man. And yes, this is a mini series. Now, it's not like a lengthy run. It's going to go as far as the Age of Revelation storyline that's going to take place over the next few months. So, yes, I will be covering all of these comics. If you are interested, just let me know in the comments below. Now, if you want to wait to the end of this video, because I know you want to wait to the end of this video, you will hear my personal review on Rogue Storm. So let's get into it. So this takes place 5 years into the Age of Revelation. Now, naturally, Age of Revelation is 10 years into the future, but we're going to dial this back a little bit. The one thing about this comic is that it does a few time jumps. It does 5 years, it does 2 years, it does 10 years, but you're all going to make sense here. So it starts out with saying, our world was once home to the greatest God to have ever lived. We were safe in her warm embrace. She protected us, nurtured us. She called herself Storm, but she was the stillness that calmed all the turbulence that ever threatened us. We loved her. Her affection for us was incomparable, whirling from the deepest parts of her heart to envelop us with kind deeds. But one day, suddenly, and without warning, our God went mad. Now, to know peace, we must wage war against our shield. To care for our children, we require acts of wickedness against our mother. For the good of our planet, we must brutalize our God. We must commit deicide. And that is when we are introduced to Rogue. Now, you're going to notice something a little different with this Rogue. Like, she is in a different costume. And the first thought I had, before I read into this is that, Rogue just changed the fit. She just changed the colors. It's whatever. But that is not exactly the case here. So we'll go further into the comic, and it explains why she's wearing those colors. And we go to the Collector's Menagerie, which is 2 years into the Age of Revelation. Remember what I said about the time jump? And it says, why do bad things happen to good people? A query as ancient as age. At our lowest, we catch ourselves questioning if we deserve our circumstances. Bad things happen. Good things happen. But sometimes things just happen. And the universe leads us to decide if they're good or bad. On a mission to rescue those in her care from an immortal elder of the universe, Rogue was caught off guard and forcibly splintered into 2 personalities, Rogue Green and Rogue Red, the original and the copy. And when a man's love for one woman is all-consuming, when he has dedicated his life to hers as much as Gambit has to Rogue Green, there is no room for another. And for there, Rogue Red goes to the Storm Sanctuary, and Storm does not turn away anybody that want to be a part of the Sanctuary. And she says, but our God is the great comforter. And she says, a gift made of Elysium. I asked Moon Girl to take the remains of my God armor from my safes to fashion a new alloy just for you. The durability of adamantium, the kinetic energy manipulation of vibranium, and the amplification properties of mysterium in the presence of both metals. Now, you will not need your lost Herculean strength to inflict devastating damage when you strike with your fist. I know what it is like to have your ability suddenly stripped away from you. You have memories of touching the clouds and wrestling against giants. This is no replacement, and before she even continues, Rogue Red says, "Thank you, Ororo." She's like, "Why do you thank me? Are we not best friends?" Now, put a pin in that for a second. Now, one thing for sure, if anybody knows about powers being stripped away, it is definitely Storm. Like, whether we read it in the comics or I wouldn't say recently, but in recent memory, we watched X-Men 97, and we actually see that happen, which kind of pissed Magneto off to a certain degree, but she completely understands what Rogue is going through. Now, to get back into it, we are introduced to the joint consciousness and operating system of the Storm engine. Now, this is one of the guardians for Storm. Like, you don't have direct access to Storm, especially if you're looking to take her out. Now, one thing I did not mention here is that Rogue did not show up by herself. She showed up with the X-Force, okay? She showed up with the X-Force. I'm definitely not covering that part. That's why I kind of want y'all to go to your LCS, your local comic book store, you know what I'm saying? To get yourself your own personal copy of Rogue Storm. That way you can read the full story, you know what I mean? That's all that's saying. That's all I'm saying. But we are introduced back to 5 years into the Age of Revelation, and you see Rogue put on those knuckles, you know what I'm saying? The Elysium knuckles. And she said, me. That's all that matters. That's all I need to end this. And she says, with the gift from Ororo Monroe, the last Storm God, you see her burst. And listen, she dodging. She hitting them punches. Me. Like doing the work, man. Like putting in that work, beating that ass. And she's like, she fights with nothing held back from the battlefield. She fights to prove to herself and the world that she is her own person, not an inferior replica. She puts the agony of self-doubt, heartbreak, abandonment, and betrayal into one last strike, destroying the machine. And she hit that Johnny Cage. She straight up uppercut the head smooth off. And it says nothing will stand in her way. Nothing will hinder her quest to murder her dearest friend. But gods are not so easy to vanquish. And it says, carnage currency of the gods. To kill a god, you must outspend them in brutality. You must send them to the lowest circle of hell from which none return. A failed deicide incurs genocides. The primal storm is death incarnate, vengeance personified. And you hear Primal Storm says, where are the murderers you shelter? And Rogue Red and her uncanny X-Force should never have sought Ororo Monroe's life. And that is the end of this comic. And I got to tell you my personal review of Rogue Storm. Let's talk about Rogue Red for a second. I don't think it's one of them situations where you got a clone of Jean Grey and you got Madeline Pryor or Goblin Queen. I don't think it's going to be one of those situations. But I think with the split between Rogue Green and Rogue Red, she's just trying to prove herself. Like, she doesn't have the super strength of the OG Rogue. So, and I think that's where Storm is trying to comfort her in that manner, because, like, listen, I understand you feel like Rogue is part of you, but the original Rogue is in love with Gambit, and Gambit has no room, like literally no room for you, like emotionally, physically, whatever. He just got no room for you. You know what I'm saying? So you can come over to the Storm Sanctuary. Now, overall, this book is really good. Short run that this book is, and we'll be reading the next issue of Rogue Storm. What will happen with Storm? Like, what takes place with that? Because if you go read Unbreakable X-Men, if you watch our video on Unbreakable X-Men, that takes place, if I'm not mistaken, because I'm not looking at the video right now, 7 years into the future of Age of Revelation. So what transpired here? What exactly is going on with Storm? Why is she so pissed? Why is she so angry? What took place for her to be on this whole other level? And why nobody ain't really messing with it like that? Because clearly Cypher ain't trying to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? But this book is a very, very good read. Yes, I did skip some key parts in this video because I really do want you guys to go to your LCS and pick up Rogue Storm. Like, these are one of the books in Age of Revelation that I highly encourage you to actually pick up because it's highly entertaining, and I would say answer a lot of questions or whatever like that. But if you really want to be thoroughly entertained, and if you absolutely, positively love the Storm solo series like I did, well, and a lot of other people did, this needs to be in your collection, like bar none, like no bones about it. Go get that Rogue Storm. Put that in your life. Get some greatness in your life. You understand what I'm saying? Yo, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell, because when you hit that notification bell, you get notified on all of our content, whether it's live or recorded. Remember, drop down box, you select all. That way you get notified on everything that we do at Orange Phoenix Media. So until next time, y'all, peace.